What equipment do you really need to train effectively from home? When you train with calisthenics, you definitely need way less equipment than with bodybuilding or powerlifting. But still, there are some key pieces of equipment that you really want to have in your home gym. In this video, I'm gonna show you 10 different pieces of equipment from my calisthenics home gym. I have divided them in 3 categories. The 2 things that everyone needs, the best equipment to maximize strength and muscle gains, and bonus equipment to minimize injuries and master calisthenics faster. At the floor, you can actually cover pretty well the vertical and horizontal pushing patterns, but it really sucks for the vertical and horizontal pulling patterns. That's why if you want to build a well-proportioned body, you will first need a pull-up bar. That's what will cover the vertical pulling pattern. To be honest, you don't need a full pull-up bar like the one I have over here. You can actually get away with a door pull-up bar, either the one you fix on top of the door or the one you fix between each side of the door. The first one is normally more stable, more secure, and it can offer you a neutral grip, but it can damage the top of the door frame. The good thing about the second option is that you can adjust the height. This means that you can even do horizontal pulling or rows. The downside is that it can be less secure than the first option and it can damage the contact surface. So after looking at the different reviews and in my own experience, I think it's a safer bet to pick the first option. The second thing that you will need are dip bars or parallel bars. That's what will cover the horizontal pulling pattern, but it will also give you the opportunity to do dips, which cover another key movement pattern that you cannot get from the floor. Here you can also find 2 main options, the parallel bars I have over here or the ones that are glued together. I personally prefer these ones as I can adjust the distance to make it shoulder width apart or whatever I want to. Plus, when I finish using them, I can put them together to a corner and they almost take no space. The downside is that they are less stable than the other ones that are glued together, but I never had any big problem with that. Before moving to the next thing, I want to add that if you have enough space, I would recommend you to get a power tower because it combines the pull-up bar with the dip bar. So now that we know the 2 most important pieces of equipment, I want to show you 4 more things that can help you a lot whenever it comes to getting stronger and building more muscle. The first piece of equipment from this category are rings. If you decide to get rings, you will actually don't need that much the dip bars I was showing you before. As with rings, you can also do rows or horizontal pulling, but also you can do dips. However, doing dips on the rings is much harder than with the dip bars because you need more coordination to stabilize yourself. This doesn't necessarily mean that you will be building more muscle with rings. It can definitely be more challenging, but at the end of the day, muscle building depends largely on mechanical tension, and you can easily create more mechanical tension by using dip bars with external resistance. What I love about rings is, 1, thanks to rings, I don't need to worry anymore when doing things like close grip chin-ups that can put you a lot of stress on your elbows, especially when you are at the bottom position. 2, that you get to do new exercises like tricep extensions, chest flies, or face pulls. And 3, that you can adjust the difficulty of most of these exercises by changing the height of the rings. Something that I really recommend for when you have already been training for a while is the weight vest. A weight vest will allow you to keep progressing with the main bodyweight movements without having to rely on one arm variations, which, to be honest, I don't particularly like because they take double the time to complete and they can create extra stress on your joints. What I love about the weight vest is that you can use it for every bodyweight exercise, pull-ups, push-ups, rows, handstands, pistol squats, whatever, while things like the dip belt can only be used easily for a few exercises. The next piece of equipment is something very special to me, and I'm talking about push-up bars. Thanks to these push-up bars, I was able to do my 1-year handstand transformation, and that's why I named this channel Adrian on Bars. My wrist ligaments are naturally weaker and I'm more prone to experience pain on my wrists. So with push-up bars, you can do push-ups and handstands on a position that will be way easier on your wrists, and also you get to do an extra range of motion, which is always nice. To finish this category of equipment, I would be lying to you if I didn't include dumbbells. I know that this can seem a bit contradictory with the idea of calisthenics, but if you care about results, I think that they are really worth it. After I started to use dumbbells, I added in 2 months almost 2 inches to my arms, which sincerely is something that the ladies won't regret. And for me, this was a big deal as I'm someone with naturally long and lanky arms. But most importantly, dumbbells can help you address different weak links that can be hard to target with only bodyweight exercise. And last but not least, if you combine dumbbells with the weight vest, you can get a pretty decent leg workout without much need for a squat rack. By the way, if you want more tips on how to use all this equipment, I recommend you to follow me on Instagram at Adrian on Bars and watch my stories where you will see me do all the real training. So, the first item in this category is the yoga mat. This is what I use before every workout to do my wrist warm-up. If you are serious about handstands, you definitely should be doing this, and even if you don't, I still think it has some value to bulletproof your wrists. Talking about handstands, I have also used this mat countless times for the different bodyline drills. And what will surprise you is that I don't use this mat at all for ab exercise. If you do the main bodyweight exercise with proper form, you will already be working your core. And aside from that, if I want to target my core, I normally just do exercise on the bar. On the other hand, I used to use this mat a lot when I was learning the press to handstand and I had to do a lot of stretching. And nowadays, I still use it for daily stretches for the muscles that get tight when sitting and everything. Another great piece of equipment is elastic bands. I use them all the time before my workouts to warm up my shoulders. If you want to have longevity in calisthenics, it's key to treat your shoulders well. But also, I use them to increase or decrease the difficulty of different exercise. Bands are also key for my clients who are starting calisthenics and who still cannot do many pull-ups. Finally, I use them for high rep arm work to keep my elbows healthy. The next piece of equipment are parallels. Parallels have a lot in common with push-up bars, but still they offer some new things that are worth mentioning. The first thing is that they normally have a thicker grip than push-up bars, which creates a nicer grip and makes hand balancing a bit easier. Another difference is that they are not as close to the floor. This can actually have a huge impact when practicing different calisthenics skills. So I will recommend you to get parallels if you are someone interested with skills like handstands, handstand presses, L-sits and the planche. And the last piece of equipment I want to mention is the dip belt. If you use a weight vest and you do your eccentrics for 3 seconds or more, you won't really need this until very long. But at some point the weight vest won't be enough because the heavier weight vests can normally carry up to 30 kgs or 60 pounds. So at that point it will be a good idea to get a dip belt because you can load it whatever you want as long as you have the necessary plates, of course. Have in mind though that the dip belt works great for pull-ups and dips. Well, for dips it depends on the dip bars because my dip bars, for example, are too short to use correctly a dip belt. And then for push-ups and rows it's even more trickier and yeah, it can be quite hard actually to set it up correctly. Remember that having at least some of this equipment will be so important whenever it comes to doing efficient home workouts. But it will be equally important to follow a good training program and dial in your nutrition. If you want a free training on how to put all this together, you can go to adrianonbars.com. I will put a link down below. There you will find an exclusive video that you will love, and if you want to do coaching with me, you will be able to complete an application and book a call. Anyways, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. I'll see you in the next video.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a long